Welcome to Detroit in Black and White Wednesday edition. Some crazy people on here tonight. First crazy name is Allan Lengel from Deadline Detroit.
Hello.
Second crazy is attorney Vanessa Moss, who's running for probate court. Going to have another crazy judge on the bench.
Oh,
You know,
don't say another. Don't say another crazy judge.
yeah, another one,
Some
another
people
one.
take that literally and really
Well, they can take it. They can take it literally because you're going to be crazy. You know,
not at all.
there's no question about it. Uh, I'm Adolph Mongo. I've been watching these assholes in Washington D.C. blowing up everybody. Now they threatening all these countries. Trump told Spain if we wanted to use your Air Force base, we can do whatever we want to do, and we'll do it. Uh, Somebody said they bombed Ecuador, and they. It's like these motherfuckers is like 5-year-olds that's controlling nuclear weapons and shit. That's pushing buttons, and sending people. Going to be more people that's going to die. Uh, Unbelievable. The twins, they wreaking havoc over in the Middle East. That's Netanyahu and Donald Trump. You know,
Both of them trying to stay out of prison.
of
Both of them
course.
trying to avoid criminality. I mean, with Trump, it's the Epstein files. Netanyahu's got some corruption trials going on, and there are people in Israel who are supporting at least initially, going after the Ayatollah and stuff like that. But they're suspicious of Netanyahu because he's supposed to be on trial for like corruption and fraud, and he keeps pushing that aside. And Trump, the Epstein files were getting hot. There were missing files about the 13 and 14-year-old, and now who can bring that up in the middle of a war?
Well, you can bring it up. You got 10 people reported killed in Israel. 6 U.S. soldiers killed in Kuwait, and we had 3 planes shot down by the folks in Kuwait. They was going to kill the pilots that parachuted out of there. He had no exit strategy. They had thousands of people, Americans in the Middle East, visiting different countries, and no way to get them out. Rubio is an idiot, an asshole. It's just unbelievable that this is who's running the country. If people want a war, I was debating with some folks today. You can't. They not. You can bomb all day. You got Lindsey Graham saying Cuba, you next. What are you gonna do? You're gonna bomb and kill thousands of people in these countries, and when you start sending in ground troops, there's gonna be thousands of American soldiers that's gonna die. And believe me, I don't care how strong your army is, people are gonna die. And then you're gonna kill all these folks because there's a bunch of Cubans that's been in this country, and I'm talking about any of these countries that's been here 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years, that's anxious to get back to do all the fucked up things they did before they left, because the people that's going to take over Iran is going to be the same assholes who took it over from the Shah and the Ayatollah Khomeini. And the Shah took it over with the help of the CIA from his father, because we helped kick them out. In 1956, we took over the Suez Canal. We undone a lot of things. We kicked out the king of Iraq and all these places over there and put in dictators and shit. And then that don't work for us. We start kicking them out again. So here's Donald Trump just following a script that's been in place for a long time.
So listen, before I make my comment, I want to do my thing and then I'm going to jump in this conversation. First of all, I want to thank everybody that's watching Detroit in Black and White. You already know what Vanessa Moss wants you to do. We want you to like, subscribe, and share. To subscribe is free. You can catch us on all social media platforms. The other thing that we're going to ask that you do is this. If you want to join in this conversation, you could join in the comment section. We're gonna get to your comments, or you could come on into the room. There's a link right up there at the screen. You can use your telephone and you can come on into the room. I want to give a shout out to Kenneth Powell, Deborah Harris. She said, "Hello, Vanessa. I voted for a Democrat, an entrepreneur and chemist born in India. He previously served in the Michigan House of Representatives. His focus areas include health, crime, and economics, etc. He communicated with the people. He talked very well English. We need him, I think. I don't know if she's
Who
joking.
need who?
Yeah,
Shree?
I think that's what she's talking about. I was like,
Well,
I don't
fuck Shree. Yeah, he's a
know.
silly ass. He's a carpetbagger. He's nothing. We
I
don't
don't
need
know who you
Shree.
talk about, Deborah, but okay. Uh,
Well,
it's awesome that you exercise your voice because your voice is very powerful. You
right.
exercise your voice in voting. Duela Boys, good evening. Or all good evening. Stephanie Jackson, what's up, Steph? Hey sis. Tamika Rainey, Jana Overall, good evening. Thank you for liking, subscribing, and more importantly, sharing. Hey Ira, Janet Overall, Duela Boyce, Derek Henry, good evening. Kenneth Powell, good evening. And Tracy Smith, good evening. So Saturday, Allan brought up Iran, and we had a guest from his show, which is the week that was. And I indicated that most people in these areas are not even talking about or not even in tune with what's going on in the rest of the world because they're worried about what's going on right here in front of them, whatever issues they face in personally. I will say this, and let me say this. I'm gonna give a shout out to my students. There are some students that's watching Detroit in Black and White. I hope you're telling your friends about it. I hope you're liking, subscribing, and sharing. But um, right in front of my face, I have two students who serve their country proudly, and one who thinks that he's going to be called in. And so, of course, I'm thinking about this is real. This impacts, this is right here in my face. This is someone that I know. So, to your point, Adolph, there are going to be people that are going to lose their lives, and people put their lives on the line. They volunteer, they become members of the service, be it the Marines, be it the Navy, be it the Army, be it the Air Force. They volunteer, and it doesn't matter whether or not they like the chief, okay, whoever is giving them their orders. They're sacrificing their lives for our country. And so I think that we really do. And I know that you, Adolph and Allan, and most of you guys that are watching, that we take this very seriously. But for me, it's really hitting home because I have two students that are involved. So
Okay.
Well,
And the same assholes that sending our young people over there to die, their kids are not going. Their kids don't join up. Their kids is in Mar-a-Lago eating lobster and crab and all this other shit. And they, you can look at a map and say we sending this, sending that, but they don't sacrifice. I'm hearing, I saw Donald Trump on TV the other day talking about he's sad about the deaths. I'm thinking about a couple of years ago when he said people that die in wars are losers and all this other stuff, where he had the head of the Joint Chief of Staff whose son died in Iraq, and he dogged him out. And so I don't believe anything this asshole says. Go ahead, Allan.
well, the thing is, we're being impacted. Like Vanessa says, I mean, some people are going there. Gas has gone up just 10 cents. The war just started on Saturday. It's only Wednesday. Gasoline's gone up 10 cents. It's probably going to go up further, at least temporarily. You have a war with no plan. It's changed every day. First they say, we're there for regime change. Hey, it's yours for the asking. Well, it doesn't work that way. They don't have militias. We had militias there in Syria backed by with big money. It took them 10 years to overthrow the government. In Iran, there aren't militias there. What we're seeing now, what I'm hearing right before we came on the air, was that the Kurds from Iraq, who are Muslim Sunnis, and the Iranians are primarily Shiite Muslim. They've gone over the border now. Now they're going to try to fight to take over Iran. I mean, we're seeing Iran is bombing all these countries all around, and we forget that what's this really about? I mean, a lot of it is, they say it's a threat of Iran and stuff like that, but we have 8 to 10. We have 8 to 10 bases in the Middle East, and it's all about the oil. It's about our interests, our corporate interests in the Middle East, and so we are there. We have 8 to 10. We have bases in Qatar, in Kuwait, in Bahrain, United Arab Emirates, Saudi Arabia, Jordan, and Iraq. Those are our main bases, and then we have other places. So we are so heavily invested in that area. And what is it? The kids who are getting killed, are soldiers, but also, they bombed a school, I assume accidentally, in Iran. They killed dozens of little girls. It's not such an innocent thing. And those are real lives, and those are heartbroken people who are losing relatives and stuff.
Well, why don't they come out and say this is the deal?
Right.
China is involved with Iran. Russia is involved with Iran, and over there they using missiles and shit they got from Iran, etc. This is what Trump telling them. I'm fucking with the people that supply you weapons and oil and all this other shit.
So Adolph and Allan, you're saying, why don't they come out and tell us what the deal is? Because you know what? They don't believe that people can handle the truth. He's never going to, in my opinion, tell the truth. And listen, while he's the H man in charge, the HMIC. Listen, I could tell you guys what to do it, and you got to do it. If you are a member of the armed forces, you have to do it. And it's really unfortunate.
You don't have to do it. You don't have to do it. I was in the armed forces.
Okay.
You don't have you have a right to say I don't need to go over there, and thousands of people during the Vietnam War, military people said I'm not going to do that shit. This is not even a legal war. This asshole just took it up on himself to bomb these places. He bombing all over. Next thing you know, I'm going to send troops to Mexico. I'm going to send troops. How can you stretch yourself real thin? You got to be real careful, because when you start bombing folks, and you see what happened in Texas, guy wearing an Iranian flag on his shirt and whatever, killed 3 people, because one they took off in life support and wounded 14. I think that's just the beginning of some of this stuff. And they better be ready to deal with it.
So I don't think they're ready. But listen, Mr. 40 Scratch says, it was just to get you to stop talking about the scandal that won't go away. Not the safety of Israel. Don't forget Netanyahu. Kenneth Powell said, let's get it lit. And Stephanie Jackson says, since when do we defend terrorists?
Well, when do?
Powell said USA has lost again.
Yeah, I think people can handle the truth. They just aren't getting the truth every day. Every day it changes. when the reality is, it's like, first of all, there are ulterior motives. I mean, like I said,
Oh, you think people will be able to handle? Oh, well, it's ulterior motives.
they
So
wouldn't
that's
accept the
really why
truth.
we're doing it. People don't. No, people can't handle that. People don't even want to hear that.
Well, it's not they can't handle it. They wouldn't accept it. They wouldn't accept it if the truth was
Oh,
that.
well, but when you say, Vanessa, people don't care. People should care. People should care about the price of oil, about the gas. People should care. We sitting next. Detroit is sitting next to the largest Middle East population
Absolutely.
outside of the Middle East, and I'm sorry. There
So
are
what I'm
folks.
saying, Adolph, is this. What I said Saturday is that unless it's impacting you, and let me give you an explanation.
Gas
Unless it's right
impactors.
here in front of you and it's not impacting me, they don't care.
Gas
But
impactors.
now, and I'm saying I said that Saturday. Today, it's in my face. Okay, for me, it's in my face. How many other people is it now in their face where it does make a difference that they do?
Well, when somebody blow up, when somebody came downtown and blow themselves up with 10
Are
or
you going to
12 innocent people, what they think?
We saw in Austin, Texas, a guy who had some references to Iran in the Middle East. He shot up a bar. You know, he killed people and he shot up people. I mean, people.
You got these deranged folks.
It impacts people here who have emotions about it and are angry at our government. You know, look, we're not gonna we pretend like we can get away without caring about it, but it'll come knocking on your door one way or another.
Well, and it will. And these idiots, because there's a whole crew of them. Hey, they doing what they doing. And I'm tired of seeing people who said, "Oh, I used to be a mega person, but I got buyer's remorse now. I don't like him. He screwed me."
Who said
Well, listen, you can go online and you can see people, you can see Latinos who was uh, supporting them and shit, and ICE went and got them or they family members.
to my point? And when it started impacting them, then it made a difference.
Yeah, so yeah, that is what we're dealing with. Let's take a break and come back. This is Detroit in black and white. We have our guest on.
Yep, she's ready to come in.
Okay, and we'll come back with our guest, Crystal Bailey.
Hi, I'm Eric Sabri, your Wayne County Treasurer. Are you living in the home of a deceased family member and you're facing property tax foreclosure, or maybe you know someone who's in the same situation? The probate process may be helpful to you. If you file a probate petition and notify our office, the foreclosure proceedings will be halted during the probate process. We have several nonprofit partners who have free attorneys who can assist you. Contact our office, 313-224-5990, or email us at taxinfo@waynecounty.com. Don't lose your family property. Some of these properties have been in the family for 4 or 5 generations. Contact us now. We're here to help.
Okay, we're back. This is Detroit in black and white. Our guest, Crystal Bailey.
All right, she was on mute.
Good evening.
Her screen's there, but she's not.
Okay.
All right.
Well, you know what? Until she appears, so let me announce this. We have
Hello.
oh, Crystal.
Hello, we can't see you.
You can hear me, but you can't see me, huh?
Right.
Okay, so it has an avatar, visual effects. Let me see. Oh, none. But then you still
don't see
can't.
nothing. We don't even see your background now. We just hear your voice.
Okay.
Well, go ahead and talk. No problem.
All right. Well, thanks for having me. I'm really excited to be on Detroit in black and white. That's exciting. I am running for state representative for District 5. Newly,
And what is District 5?
District 5 is brand new. Well, as of 2 years ago, since the redistricting, there was a lawsuit, AG versus Benson, and there was some redistricting done. And District 5, as a result of that, out of the Motown Sound map, and it encompassed Oak Park, the township of Royal Oak, and Northwest Detroit, from Southfield Freeway to Livernois, 8, 7, and 6 Mile, and it deviates a little bit to Puritan between Greenfield and Ardmore.
Didn't you used to be a state rep?
I was a school board member for
School board member. Okay.
Yes.
What school board?
Oak Park School Board.
Oh, okay, we got 3 Oak Parkers over here. We outnumber you, Vanessa.
Oh, that's okay. Hey, Crystal. Hey, girl. How you doing?
I'm good. How you
Oh,
doing?
hey, I didn't say we can't see you. So
I know. I'm so sad.
yeah, but maybe when we go to break, you'll be able to figure it out. But
Okay.
listen, why don't you tell our viewers something about you? We know each other because we met each other on the campaign trail, and
Mhm.
I told Adolph earlier today that you and I both
That's a picture of her.
Thank you.
decided that we were going to run in a race in Oakland County, and both of us were challenged, and we were both in court together, and we were able to prevail over that person because he was outside that race.
Mhm.
And to be honest with you, I was just doing it to agitate them because I don't like people playing a little silly, dirty games. So anyway, tell our viewers about who Crystal Bailey is, where she come from, and where she plan on going.
Well, thank you for the opportunity to tell you guys a little bit about myself. I am born and raised here in Detroit, Michigan, Northwest Detroit, and I went to Henry Ford High School for 2 years, and my family moved us to Oak Park in 1998. I attended Oak Park School Board, graduated from Oak Park School Board in 2001, and I got elected to Oak Park School Board just in that general election of that primary election that I ran in for state senate that Attorney Moss mentioned. So I have a daughter. I'm a mother of 1. She is 18 years old.
Oh my gosh, she's 18 already?
Yes, she is 18, and this is her second semester at U of D, Mercy. So she's studying law. She's totally excited about corporate law. And I ran for the same seat 2 years ago against an incumbent, and now I'm running again. It's an open seat, and I'm running on mental health, eradication of gun violence, and school to prison pipeline. Those were some issues that I ran on last time, but this time I'm adding 2 more issues, which are property taxes and auto insurance rates.
Don't we hear politicians talk about the insurance and property taxes, but seem like none of this stuff ever get done?
And that's
So
why
how are you gonna make a difference when you get elected?
Well, we need some aggressive lawmakers to get to Lansing to get the job done. And that's why it hasn't been done. I mean, to me, it's quite simple. If we could just define what an excessive rate is, if we can just start there with defining what an excessive rate is. Because as of right now, an excessive rate is defined as very vague, and the insurance company can just file and use whatever rate they choose. So I think if we start there with the auto insurance rates, I think that's a good start.
How about you talk about eradication of gun violence? What does that look like? I mean, it sounds good, but in theory, but in reality, what does that look like?
Well, I mean, I think that the gun manufacturers need to be held accountable for producing these guns and dumping them in our communities. I think if we hold the gun manufacturers accountable and go after those switches that they add to the guns, that makes it a automatic, semi-automatic pistol when it was just a regular handgun. I think if we go after those and as a lawmaker ban those ghost guns, I think that'll be a help with eradicating gun violence.
How about
what?
we saw in Georgia where a father was just convicted of buying a gun for his son, who then went out and killed a bunch of people. Would you like to see more parents held accountable for their children's action with guns?
I would. I have an 18-year-old myself, so it's kind of hard to say. I did. I think that if that right there directly purchasing the gun for your child absolutely should be held accountable. I mean, that is direct. Accountability needs to be held upon when it comes to the parent. So yes, I do.
But you got nothing to do with what your son or your daughter is 18 years old and go out and kill somebody. That's a slippery slope. Now the guy in Georgia, he bought a semi-automatic weapon, gave him the bullets, and the wife says, "I got nothing to do with this. Our son is sick, and you don't give him that." Now he should have been convicted, but there's other folks that they wake up at night and the police come to the house and say your son shot somebody and we taking you in. I don't think that's the right thing to do.
Yeah, well, we lost her. She's gonna have to come
I'm
back.
still here. I'm still here. But at 18, you're an adult, so you're no longer a minor. But I thought we were speaking to
Yeah,
minors.
but I'm talking about minors too. Sometimes you can't control what your 14, 15-year-old go out and do. And if you're trying to, do the right thing, you shouldn't be held accountable.
Yeah, but it kind of goes to if you're at a bar or a restaurant and the bartender allows you, serve you too many drinks and knowingly, and they allow you to leave and you get in a fatal accident. Someone needs to be held accountable.
Well, and they should be.
So Krista, I'm going to change the subject just a little bit. You indicated that District 5 encompasses Oak Park, parts of Northwest Detroit. Where else did you say?
Royal Township.
And where else did you say? Was there another area?
No, just the Northwest Detroit. Oak Park.
So those are different areas. You talk about different dynamics. How are you going to effectively represent all those areas? Because everybody have different issues. And, the township is definitely different than Oak Park, and both are definitely different than Northwest Detroit.
Well, actually, it's a 75% Black district, District 5, and that's the commonality with Oak Park is a majority Black community. Detroit, Northwest Detroit, majority Black, as well as Royal Oak Township is majority Black. And the issues that I'm running on affects us all the same. So the gun violence, the auto insurance rates, the mental health crisis that we're in, it's the taxes, it's all affecting us the same. So within District 5, we face similar situations, even all the way to our education with our school board.
We have someone who commented. I'll read it. I don't know if you can see it. Shoot, I can hardly see it. It's Tamari Kimmett. Thank you so much. She says she works for the Coalition for Property Tax Justice, and we got Detroit City Council to pass a law to stop illegally overtaxing homeowners in Detroit, saving X amount of homes. I can't see that.
13,000.
13,000 homes. So the city of Detroit has done something about property taxes. What do you think that you can do to address property taxes?
Address the property taxes. We could. I know my experience, and I bought my home in 2019. And when I bought my property, my taxes uncapped. So that pop-up tax, that was so surprising to me. I didn't budget for that. I would definitely expand the NEZ, homestead property tax abatement, to more municipalities. I think that would help with that.
Okay.
And I was also doing a screening, and someone else from Detroit brought up that over taxation, which I believe that, that in Detroit, that's a local issue, but I'm running for a state representative. And I believe at the state level, what we could do is create a way where we could penalize the municipalities who do overtax the constituents.
Crystal, how many people are in your race?
It's an open seat. The incumbent just announced today that she wasn't running for re-election.
Who's the incumbent?
Regina Weiss.
Regina Weiss. Okay.
Yeah, she was illegally elected.
Okay, I don't remember her. I'm not.
Well, you won't remember her because with the way the Democrats threw Detroit under the bus with those seats, the Senate seat and the state rep districts and stuff, they made it harder for Detroiters to elect Detroiters. So, Democrats, they can be full of shit.
Yeah. So, Crystal, are you the only person that's running the race then?
No.
In District 5? Well, how many people are in the race?
I believe it's 3 of us.
Okay.
Right now.
All right. Okay. Any questions, Allan?
So the primary is in August. What are you doing to campaign? What's your strategy for campaigning, and who are you targeting? And are you going door to door, or what flyers, or how are you running your campaign?
Thank you for that question. I've been doing all of the above for the past 2 years.
Wow.
We've been door knocking. We've been mailing. Just this past December, we've mailed out holiday cards. We are doing phone banking. We're also, we have signs up around the district. We have a billboard up as well. We've mailed to all the senior buildings. We have senior luncheons. Actually have one next Monday as well. And we're just constantly staying in front of voters is what we're doing.
So how do people get in contact with you?
Well, you can get in contact with me directly. Phone number 313-424-0813. My website is www.wevotecrystalbailey.com. And my social media handles are all Vote Crystal Bailey as well.
Yeah, one other thing. How are we going to get these school districts up to par? And then whether it's Oak Park, Detroit, well, the township don't have a school district. But how as a state rep, what can a state rep do?
Yeah, that's a great question because we have a lot of work to do. We have the state budget that was proposed by the governor was $88.1 billion, and the allocation of the funding, we need more going to public education. And I don't know if you saw, but today on the news, Oak Park School District is under a lawsuit and the superintendent is under investigation. So we have work to do with our students. Since COVID, we've been getting further and further behind. So at the state level, we need to reallocate the funds and properly put more funding into public education.
Well, anyway, you got the last say. So go ahead.
Quick question.
Go.
Have you decided on who you might back for governor in the primary?
Have I decided who I would back in the primary?
Right.
Jocelyn Benson.
Okay. Jocelyn Benson. Well, you got to come back on, Crystal. Glad to have you.
Okay. Thank you.
Me and Allan went to Oak Park, but it was a different Oak Park there.
Yeah. Okay. I'm an alumni too. Okay.
Yeah. Schools was, Allan used to beat me up in the high school. I used to get beat up and run home. But anyway. But anyway, we're gonna have you come back and
Yes, thank you.
good luck in August because
I
we
really
know that Democrat whoever win the Democratic primary basically gonna win the election in November.
yes, yes.
Okay,
All right,
Absolutely.
see you, Crystal. I'm
thank
sure
you.
I'll see you out and about.
Yes, definitely.
Sorry we couldn't see you. You was
I
hiding
know.
from us.
We'll do some next time. I'll figure it out next time. Thank you
Okay,
again. All right.
okay.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night.
All
And that's
right.
that district. That's a different district because it crosses from Oakland County and Wayne County.
And I think that's what I was trying to say, but maybe I didn't do a good job. But it's different. You got different tax base in Oakland County than you do in Wayne County. I understand that the demographics is African American, but still, it's completely different. But uh, Crystal has been working. She's been campaigning. She is absolutely telling the truth. She's been campaigning for this for the last 2 years. So we'll see what.
Where did that person say I'm desperate for clicks?
No, I think he's trying to make a reference to Deadline Detroit. He's trying to be cute.
Oh, it don't matter. Well, I'm click. Okay.
Bill Hunting says, I like Adolph mainly because he thinks all you at dead ass Detroit are morons, but you are desperate for clicks. Oh, that's what he said. Oh, okay.
Right.
Okay.
All right. Okay.
I think he represents a certain political thought. That's my guess.
Okay. Hey, you can whatever.
People have opinions.
Thoughts.
People have opinions.
Yeah.
As long as they express them intelligently, it's.
Mhm.
I mean, you don't have to express them intelligently.
I was just getting ready to say, well,
a lot of people don't
very
express them
subjective,
intelligently, but it helps in a public forum to give more credibility to your opinion when you express it intelligently.
Well, what can I say? What can I say? The story about the Detroit Lion. What's his name?
David
That-
Montgomery.
No, the other one that who his friends kidnapped some people and beat them up because they went into his house
Uh-huh.
and stole $100 grand in cash and 80,000 in jewelry. What the fuck is people got $100,000 in cash and $80,000 in jewelry laying around in their house?
Yeah.
What you mean? What do people do? People do that all the time. There are people who don't believe.
But when you
There are
have,
people who don't
wait a
believe
minute,
in
wait a
race.
minute. Now give me what I'm gonna say.
Okay.
When you got a posse of 10 people hanging with you, what you expect? I'm not talking about in a safe, whatever. You can have whatever the hell you want to have in your house, and but you got 10 people in and out your house all day. You partying all day, and you got this shit laying around.
Right.
That's all I'm saying. Now the folks that kidnapped the wrong people who had nothing to do with the robberies.
Right.
And now they face 20, 30 years in jail. And this Detroit Lion he just damn. His career might be over because they haven't charged him yet, but they named him in all these indictments and shit. I'm just trying to figure out when you get to another level, when do you stop hanging out with some of these folks that you was hanging out when you didn't have a quarter?
But people mentality never changes. That's something I'm gonna. I was just talking about this the other day, and I'm going to talk about in the Black community. I will say this. Don't mind making money, know how to make money, know how to hustle. But one thing that we don't learn is how to manage money, how to budget money. We get it, we ball out, buy this very benevolent to friends and that kind of thing. But a lot of times we have not been taught how to budget. You know, when I learned how to budget, I learned how to budget after I became a divorced mother. And I had to make sure that, you know, I kept the lights on, kept food in, kept food in the cabinet, keep gas in the car, make sure that they participated in extracurricular activities because I was working for myself. And so I had to learn how to budget. But a lot of times people don't know how to do that and are not familiar with that. And then let's talk about banking. A lot of people do not trust the bank. A lot of people may make progress in one area, but not in another area, is the point that I'm trying to make.
Well, apparently,
but not all people. Go ahead, Al.
I was going to say, apparently, it's the Lions cornerback Terry Arnold, who's very talented.
Yeah,
one of the stars of the defense, and he was an Airbnb, and somebody stole like $100,000 and some other stuff. And
he was in an air fucking B&B.
Right.
Why you need $100,000 in a fucking Airbnb and $80,000 in jewelry? I know that he wearing all this shit out at night and all this shit. Why? You know, so, but that's him. That's what he got to deal with.
Is mad, and I want you to see that I'm balling out, and I got it like this, and I carry my money with me because that's what I want to do. And that's
okay. And then you get fucking robbed, and you know you got to deal with this shit. But now his career, he got a black mark against his name, and they might somewhere down the line, because these folks are gonna try to get out of it because they facing 20, 30 years in prison. That Terry Arnold, we done seen it where when they caught Michael Vick's cousins doing the dogs, first thing they did to get out of it, it said Michael Vick told us he paid for everything. He did this, did that. And Michael Vick went to jail for 2 years for some dog shit. And there's people out there that says Michael Vick should never given an opportunity to come back and even work as a coach. Now we're gonna get that with Terry Arnold. I bet you.
That's an example of somebody who has talent, but his mentality never left the hood because he was still hanging out with those same people and they were still doing the same thing. And he even admitted it. So I'm just saying, a lot of times people just don't. I may move a certain way because I have a great skill at talking, a great skill at hitting a baseball, throwing the ball, running the football, whatever the case may be. But the other side of that doesn't line up with what I'm doing out here in the public is all I'm saying. And so, you know, Michael.
But that happened in all communities.
Admitted that, you know what, I shouldn't have these people, but this is what I did.
But that happened in all communities. There's police officers in Boston, New York that grew up in tough neighborhoods and was friends with people in the mob, mafia, whatever you want to call it. And you know, and they have a lifelong relationship. You know, there's folks, we know criminals and we know folks that's in jail, but to go to an Airbnb, I took $100,000 to an Airbnb. I'm trying to figure that out. What was you buying at the Air fucking B&B? I'm not talking about your house, a permanent resident. I'm talking about an Airbnb. I flew down to Florida with $100,000 in my fucking pocket for an Airbnb.
You know what? It's interesting. I mean, the guy was drafted, I think, in 2024. He got a $7 million signing bonus. He makes about $3.5 million a year. And I think the problem is he's 22 years old. A lot of the people that young, I mean, I can't imagine in college, I was working as a janitor at Wilson Hall to make extra spending money. I mean, this is more than extra spending money. and some people don't know how to manage their money.
Well, I read
You see how old is he? He's 22.
22 years
well,
old.
but
Okay,
I read a story. Allan, remember Bill Freehand?
Yeah, sure.
Bill Freehand, University of Michigan, in 1961, I think, got drafted by the Detroit Tigers, got a $50,000 bonus.
Hmm.
Guess who took it?
Who?
His father.
Okay.
He said he got the check, and his father took the check
Uh-huh.
and put it in the bank.
Yeah.
well,
LK Line got I don't know what kind of bonus. It was a lot in 53. His daddy took the check. There's folks, and you know, and I'm thinking of some of these football players. One that never spent any of his paycheck or his bonus. He just got paid and he kept his money. Or the other football player who had all kind of fake jewelry. He said he wasn't buying no real shit. He bought all fake. And they kept their cash. People don't know when they get that $7 million bonus, what they take out of it. $2 million, the taxes,
Probably
$3 million, 50%.
Some.
But let me say this. You just said that the young man is 22 years old. Adolph, you gave an example of how when you were in school that you came into some money and your father came up to the school and
And
said,
took it.
exactly. So my question, I'm not going to judge this 22-year-old, okay?
It was only 5. It was only, I was 18.
Wait a
I
minute.
was 18. I wasn't 22.
Where was his village? Where was his village? Where is his village at 22? Okay, because somebody should have been, man, you should be walking around with this. But I think you're being very harsh with this 22-year-old. I do.
Well, you know what?
but you know what? When I told my parents what I had left over, and it was only $5,000, but it's $5,000, and he came up, and they knock on the door, let's go to the bank, and he took it. And I gave it to him, you know, because I must come back. I'm gonna need money, and of course, over the course of 4 years, I did. So it worked out. You know, my roommate said, "Hey, man, you crazy? Why you tell your parents you had that?" I said, "Because anything they ever asked me, I gave an honest answer. Anything they asked me to do, I did it. So you know." Yeah, but as I went away to school, I know 60% of what they told me was bullshit because that's what they do to kids. But 40% was right on the money, you know. And you know, you gotta filter out some of that. But I was just saying, where was the people in his family saying, you know? But we getting to the point where these kids in high school is getting paid. Kids in college making more money than their parents ever made and stuff. So who's calling the shots? You know, the 18-year-old or the parent?
There's supposed to be, when they get to the NFL and stuff, there's supposed to be some educational classes about handling money and stuff like that. But what you see is, you know, some of these guys have entourages, like Allen Iverson had a big entourage. They spent all this money. They blew money, you know, going to doing whatever. And, you know, it's not unusual for a young 22-year-old to have a group of friends. And he's saying,
they die like Len Bias got the #1 draft choice for the Boston Celtics, signed a big ass contract, went home, and went back to the University of Maryland in his dorm on the campus, whatever. And he was buying Coke for everybody. And he bought so much Coke that he OD'd. And guess what his friends did? They left him there to die.
They did. They left
That's just what they did. They left the man to die. So yeah, nobody said call 911. They might have saved him. They might have not. But the bottom line is you know, all the people that hang on with you, what's his name, MC Hammer, 75 million. He was had a payroll bigger than General Motors,
Right.
and as soon as he lost all his money, they were gone. These assholes. You give some people some money, they keep coming back and back and back and back and back and back. Can't help it. That's
Right.
why when people say you get to a place, you got to pick and choose. You know you can't go back and say, oh, I'm gonna try to rebuild a neighborhood, because the more money you pump into something, the more people saying it's not enough. He didn't give me enough. He only gave me $1,000. He only gave me $10,000. I can't have that. What the fuck? You
One of
know.
Well,
our
you know,
viewers texted and said, F a friend. Listen, Stephanie Jackson asked a question and wants to ask our opinion about the young man that lost his life. He was the owner of Sloppy Chops. I talked about it on Saturday.
Uh-huh.
Um, and it was that he was outside of a place. It's
it
called.
was an after-hours
It
joint.
was after hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, 4:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
Huh?
4:30 in the morning.
Right. When did you stop hanging out at after hour joints, Adolph?
Oh, well, I've been at after hour joints. It depends on which after hour joints. When I was 18, 19, I
Yeah,
used to come down. I used to come down to Detroit, and Burt's was on Jefferson. And
Uh-huh.
and
Yeah.
after 2 o'clock, they used to serve liquor and coffee cups and stuff. And you have policemen coming in there. And everybody, you knew the places that used to serve liquor after hours, and you knew the places that was gambling and everything. Now I had uncles and older brothers who told me, "Man, don't go to after hour place that's gamble, shooting craps and playing cards and stuff, because people lose." People and drinking, people doing drugs and stuff, they start trying to shoot up the place. You don't even want to get caught up into that shit. So,
Right.
but I always used to go to after hours with the with the alcohol, because when we were in high school, there was places where we could go up on 8 Mile Road. We were 16 and 17, and buy liquor. But by the time we were 18, Allan, we could buy legally. We could buy.
Right. At the
Yeah.
Glen Lodge Show Bar where you hung out.
Yeah, well, you didn't go there. I didn't go there.
Right.
I didn't fuck with the Glen Lodge Show Bar, because many people have been killed in that place right there in Royal Oak Township,
Right.
at Glen Lodge Show Bar. But yeah, but
I
there's places.
I was at Burt's. I remember I was with a bunch of federal prosecutors. We were drinking. It was a Friday night. We didn't leave till about 5:30 in the morning on Saturday. The trucks were pulling in for Easter Market, all the produce trucks and stuff. And it was just known that, it was okay. The police knew.
Well, but in this case, there are always some people, same way with the teddy bars, with people get outside and they are beefing with each other, because you can go to some of these topless clubs, and if you're sitting in a certain area, somebody come in, that's my seat. And the manager come and say, oh, he come here every day for a certain girl, and he spent a lot of money. That's his seat. I'm like, okay, that's your seat. You can you can have the damn seat, but if people shoot folks over penny ante shit, and the brother, he had some great food over his sloppy chops. I'm gonna tell you that steaks and stuff.
Did you eat there?
People love going over there, and he got killed. Why? It's 4:30 in the morning. People going home, and people start shooting up, and they don't know who did it. Somebody know who did it.
3
But
people were shot. He was the only one who died.
yeah.
He
So
was across the street. But let me say this. One, I don't think I've ever been. I'm sitting here thinking, I don't think I've ever been to an after hour joint at all.
fire. So Yeah.
I
You're
was
not
in-
missing
sleep.
anything.
Two, yeah, you're right. Alan, I'm usually asleep.
And-
And two, I've never eaten at any of the establishments that the decedent owned. Uh, 6 Mile, then he had one right here on Jefferson, and what's the corner of Jefferson? It was sloppy crab. That's what it was. Sloppy crab. I went to once.
Randolph.
I didn't
Randolph.
like Jefferson and Randolph. I didn't like the vibe, so I left out. And I know that they were opening up another one down on Jefferson, but I've never eaten.
But the one on 6 Mile was good. I've been there, and he was a real nice guy. He welcomed you in and all the other stuff. I never been into the one on Jefferson, but the bottom line is, regardless, he lost his life over probably some trivia bullshit,
Yeah.
and it's just fucked up. And this new mayor of ours, Mary Sheffield, she's good at being on TV and doing all the press conferences and stuff and appointing folks. I've never seen a mayor, every time they appoint somebody, they on TV with 25 people behind them. That's some bullshit, but that's the way the game is played. But we got these kids, 3 6-year-olds, 5-year-olds with guns, shooting themselves. A baby left in a car, they got towed away.
Do you guys know what happened? Listen, this lady had 5 children. She was a door dasher. She was delivering food. So she's trying to make money to keep.
But she left the gun. She left the gun. She left the gun
by mistake up under.
Well, but it's a mistake that cost her.
Got a hold of the gun. Wait a minute. One of her children got a hold of the gun, and of course, we know what happened. But here's the deal. The story doesn't stop there, because a lot of people could sit here and say, and I'm just saying, you need to look at this globally. 5 kids. You've lost one. You got to deal with the guilt and the trauma of losing it. Your kids that was in the car have to deal with the trauma of losing their sibling. But guess what? Now they're going to be in the juvenile, the neglect and abuse system.
Well, listen. That's illegal. That's a legal issue. That's a legal issue. Don't take your gun with you. Get a holster and put your gun on.
I'm just saying, because
I know. If I was a judge, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. Counselor, you're in contempt. You're in contempt, counselor. You're in contempt. You're in contempt, counselor. You're in contempt.
It impacts the whole community.
Bella, put her in jail for 4 days. She's in contempt. But we don't want to hear that you don't leave a gun. I'm tired of hearing that you don't leave a gun. You don't leave a gun. They're going to have to do something with the guns. Allan. What?
Could you put your ears on? I'm not saying that. I'm saying that there's.
I heard you. We don't want to hear the backstory. We want to hear the. We want to hear the. Allan, you got
something to say.
You got to. Allan.
Allan, you got something to say, because I'm ignoring him. What you
have? Well, you can't ignore it. You, Teresa, put her on mute.
Which is overtalk you. Yes, I can ignore you.
Well, ignore me.
Ignore me. Detroit in black and white. Order. Okay, Allan.
Okay. Well, be quiet, because we're gone. Bye. You had the last word. We don't want to hear. We don't want to hear no more.
Go ahead,
you must have her as a case.
9:30. Go ahead, Allan.
Is that your client?
I just want to say that, I mean, with the guns and stuff like that.
You got the last comment.
At minimum, people need to lock their guns properly.
Well, and they do.
You got
and now that woman has to deal with guilt. She was wrong for leaving the gun in there. Thank you. Listen, the bottom line is, if you got a gun, take care of it. Make it safe for the kids. Well, but these kids, I grew up around guns. and I never at once thought about playing with them. But they see it on TV, they see it on video games and shit, and that's what they do. This is Detroit in black and white. If you want to come in and see the continuation of a gang member named Vanessa Moss, she's a gang member. He's a gang member. Come back on Friday. Thank you all. Thank you, Crystal Bailey, for coming on the show, and all the people that join us 3 days a week, Wednesday, Fridays, and Saturday mornings, 8:30 on Wednesdays and Fridays, and 10 o'clock a.m. on Saturday. Thank you, Teresa. Jim, we'll be back Friday, and we won't we'll put a muzzle on the attorney that we got here. She talked too much.
You know what? I forgot to say something.
Okay, Bernie.
I got my crowns pointed. I want to recommend, I'm going to write a story in Deadline Detroit. If you want to save money on implants, I saved, instead of paying $7,000 for 2 implants in Michigan, Metro Detroit, I paid about $3,400 in Windsor. And it's
that's true. That's fuck Windsor. We ain't going there. I'd rather get wooden teeth. I'd rather get wooden teeth like George Washington.
They did a great job. So,
okay.
People are going to Mexico and Turkey. You can go right across.
I got a friend that went to Brazil and paid $1,000.
Yeah.
Okay. Bye. Bye.
Did they take your insurance?
My insurance doesn't cover implants, but
no. See, Allan got it like that. So we'll be back Friday. Thank you very much.
Bye.